Welcome to Space Nights. We are live. It is February 7th, 2024. Wonderful evening. I am one of the hosts. I'm Austin Heff. I'm controlling the Space Nights account. We got RBJ and the Hizzy. What's going on, brother? Don't say that, or am I good?
What's going on? What's going on?
And we'll introduce Sam real quick before we introduce Chloe. Sam, thanks for joining us once again.
What's up? What's up, everyone? Glad to be here.
And the woman of the hour, Chloe Evans, softball superstar. In my opinion, the best transfer athlete in UCF history, with how she dominated on offense and defense, getting us in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament. Chloe, how are you?
I am great. It is a great, night before opening night, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah.
Happy International Women's in Sports Day, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, what a more perfect evening, right? Celebrating women's sports at UCF on National, Ladies and Women in Sports Day. This is huge for Space Nights, huge for the UCF community to have a softball team.
It's just huge for all athletics as a whole. We need more women in sports.
Well, we talked in the pre-show, and I agree, RBJ, we need to promote that more. But we talked in the pre-show. We brought back almost the entire roster, bumped into a bunch of y'all, Chloe, before a basketball game recently. Seems like the chemistry is strong, but it has the vibe of we're kind of going all in. We got some transfer players. We're extending our starting rotation from 2 to 4. What are the expectations for this softball team in the clubhouse?
Yeah, so I just think even today, we kind of went on to just talk about kind of how our expectations are just like as a team and like there are 11 seniors and we just feel like there's no better time than obviously the present to give it our all for the seniors, and I feel like that's like what you're probably going to hear the most about is just like doing it for the seniors, continuing to protect the Plex, protect the Queen, defense winning championships. Like those are just like the mottos that we have felt like the whole entire year, and we just need to like keep moving forward on. I think that you'll just see like I feel like there's just going to be a lot of overall like going at things this year, and hopefully keeping the foot on the gas and not letting up until the game is over, the last inning, the last out. We talk a lot about 21 outs. This is what we would obviously like to call our Jordan year. We're team 23. So we've been doing a lot about watching The Last Dance and kind of trying to have like that mantra throughout the whole year, just being making this like the best team possible, being that last dance for 11 of us who are huge contributors to this team and this team's success and the program's records and things like that. So I think it's just it seems like it keeps being said a lot, but it's honestly true, like playing for the 11 seniors, and I'm just glad to be a part of that senior class.
So for those that are like, here's my question, Chloe. So like for those that are like kind of like out of the loop for softball, can you like tell us about like the production that is returning, like those 11 seniors that are returning?
Yeah, so the returners from last year would include um, three senior outfielders who have played numerous games over the last 4 years. You have Kennedy Searcy, Katie Burge, and then Nini Rowe. Other than myself, Nini was a transfer herself a few years back. You've got the infield. You've got Jada Cody, Jazz Williams, Shannon Doherty, and then the pitchers, you've got Sarah Willis, Grace Jewell, and Angelina DeVoe. And then, we added another senior on top of that with Sona Halajian. But she's another one of our pitchers. She's going to be a big contributor this year. Just in the past, I think that the group of girls that is still here and that was here last year, I think, if you look at our stats, like we're a lot of what has been talked about the last few years, and we have a lot of those big numbers. Some of the things that like might not really be seen, but are like notable is just like our defense, all around from every single one of us. The outfield last year, I'm pretty sure is all now seniors that would have played at any point now or any point last year. So that's kind of good that we have like a whole returning outfield. So we have a whole solid foundation out there. So I'm excited to see what happens there.
Wow, it's awesome that you were able to name the entire senior class like off the dome. That's pretty special. Uh, given your stature on the team, what you meant for the team. It's pretty cool to know that how connected you are with your teammates. And I saw Coach Barrett go into this a little bit, and prepping for a softball season in 2024, I feel like is much different than her playing days and back in the day. You know a lot more now as an athlete, as a player on a softball team. Being able to study film is a little different than before. What is preparation like for you all? When it comes to getting in the classroom, getting into studying, maybe film and tape.
Yeah, so I just think, almost like every game now is being filmed or it's being played on ESPN Plus, something along those lines. ESPN, any of those bigger places that are now like buying into women's sports. But I think we just have so many more resources, as like a collective. I think that not only, us, but obviously some places have more resources than we do, but softball is continuing to grow and it's allowing for us to have an easier time, watching that film. If y'all come to the games, you'll see cameras, like little cameras above our dugout. And that's actually like new technology that'll help us with our pitchers and making our pitchers, like the best that they can be. Reading spin rate, things like that. We also are using it for hitters. So, you're knowing exit velocity, you're knowing how far the ball is going, things like that. So it's just like those are things that, it's very instant feedback. So, when you're saying like, oh, I just missed that hit, like you'll, be able to know pretty much automatically if that is really true or if you like wasn't actually, very close. But I think that, even since Coach Bear's been playing, all of our coaches played like a decently long time ago. I guess one of our assistant coaches, she's probably the closest one. She actually played um, in 2019 on the UCF team in 2019, so she was actually able to play with Shannon and Jada. But so it's just like we even from then, like we have so many new things and so many ways to just be able to be a better team and get the best out of each game.
And I would love to be a fly on the wall, like looking at you all, looking at tape, or just being able to understand even more about the game than you've been able to communicate, because it's pretty fascinating. Seeing the season go by. There's someone in particular I want to ask about who progressed through the season. I would love to know how that worked out last year. With Jasmine Williams, I feel like there was some rust. She had like a break in between playing. Um, New mom and everything, and she got back in later in the season. She was like on fire offensively, and I think defense is what really was her value early season, but she became a multifaceted player at the end. Can you talk us through what her progression was like last year and how she prepped this offseason and what we should expect from her this year?
Yeah, obviously it's super awesome. She had her little boy back in I think 2021. So he's almost 3 years old now. She's just, one of the most like hardworking and competitive people like you will ever meet. I think that honestly last year we just honestly had some bumps in the road and that's like really truly all that it was. I think that, not everybody had that like full confidence in like how they were, hitting or playing defense, things like that. I think that like things were just changing, things were new. A lot of us were, it was a new coaching staff, or like, well, to a lot of people, it was a new coaching staff. We had some new people on staff. We were changing some things, new hitting coach, new defense, like all those things were changing. So I think just like throughout the year, I think that it just like progressively got better. And I think we just became more comfortable with each other, more confident. And I think, this year we all just like pieces and things like that. So I think that there's a whole lot of confidence that has grown over the last year that is just going to continue to progress throughout the season this year.
So y'all say how like you're like embracing the mantra of the last dance, right? So with all this production coming back, I feel like you guys can do it. Do you feel like your team, what you guys have right now, what you guys have right now, you guys can make a run at the Big 12 championship?
Yeah, I for sure think that we have that capability. I think it's going to be the buy-in. I think something that we talk about a lot is that not all roles are equal, but all roles hold equal value, and that's like the biggest thing that someone can learn and take into consideration is that in life we don't always have the same role in what we're placed in, but every single role has a very important value, and I think that noting that is huge because we need people filling out the stats. We need people picking signs. We need all those little things are what's going to take us to the championship. And I think that that's what we kind of were missing from last year was there wasn't always that whole lot of buy-in. But I think this year it's really all there, and that's exactly what we need is the buy-in from everybody. We just need to always be locked in, and I think we can have fun while being locked in, but also like I said, buying into your role, being a good teammate, just, doing what you're supposed to is going to bring us where we want to go.
And for you, Chloe, this will be your second year as a Knight. I think you being here a whole season it probably changes your approach. But I would love to read off some stats from last year so people understand like how dominant you were and how much you progressed as a player. 116 total bases, meaning you were everywhere on the base pass. 96 the year before at Minnesota. 49 RBI, up 3 from the year before with 46. Let's see, 66 hits, 50 the year before. You played in every single game, which it only was done by one other teammate of yours. That was Jasmine Williams, who we talked about. Which of those stats to you mean the most to you? If I'm reading them off to you, is it the total bases? Is it the 16 doubles that you had, which was 11 the year before, 8 triples, only 1 triple the year before? So which of those stats, when I read those, mean the most to you?
If I had to be honest with you, I don't think that one is more important than the other solely because I would have rather went to the World Series than had every single one of those stats or every single record that I was able to break or tie or
Team first, I like it.
or be a part of. I think it's really hard to sit there and like hear those things and know that yeah, I did have a very great season and I put my all into everything that I had last year, but truly it's not where we wanted to go. We didn't win a regional. That was a goal. I know that we won the conference tournament, but we also didn't win conference. We didn't overall win conference, and those were the big team goals. And I think that all the stats that, like I said, I could have broken every single record that UCF has ever had, but if we didn't make it where we wanted to go, it wasn't going to mean as much. And I wish more than anything that could have happened. And I think that's more my goal this year, more than anything, is being so unselfish and not worrying about what I had last year, but going at it for the team because we want to go to the World Series. And this is my only chance. Like I don't have another chance to feel this again.
And that's very well said. Political answer. I would have been like, yeah, I want to hit more bombs. But because
Oh
Dinger's,
my God, Austin, you need to stop it.
I'm just keeping it real. It's a great
You're
answer.
always
I
trying
mean,
to get messy, man. You're always trying to get messy, man. Sheesh, you never
that's
know
funny.
who's listening. You never know who's listening. You never know. Coach Bear could be listening, and the next thing you know, Chloe's in trouble, and it's all your fault.
I mean, she follows me. We should be working to get Coach Bear on. I finally got to meet her in the off season at the Top Golf event where I also met Sona. We're definitely gonna ask about Sona because you mentioned she's entering the rotation with Grace and Sarah. But Chloe, I want to keep asking about you because you were super excited to be at UCF Knight. Arguably one of the most excited athletes, outwardly I've ever seen come in as a transfer athlete, with how much you've been trying to engage with the fan base and just how much you've raved about the school, the community, the weather, especially. But what's the biggest difference between Chloe Evans a year ago today and today? Opening night tomorrow. What is the most changed part about you? Like, what is the most different part about you going into this year?
Honestly, I think I've grown a lot since a year ago today. I think one of the main changes is, people know my name, people know who I am, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful blessing. It's crazy that something has changed so fast, and what a year has done for me is literally incredible. Like a year ago, nobody really knew who I was. They barely knew I came from Minnesota. Like it's just the main difference is just that I feel like I'm so much more poised and I'm calm and collected, and there's no nerves in me this year. I think that I last year I was nervous because I wanted to show everybody like what I knew that I could do. I knew the player that I was, and I knew the player that I've always been, and I feel like I was really able to like show people that last year. But I feel like this year, like I really just it's all gas, no brakes. Like there's no reason for you guys not to hopefully see an even better season out of me. I think that there's so much support that has like just poured out from everybody from all social media aspects, from people in the community. Yesterday in the women's in sport dinner, like there were so many people that are so excited for the season and so many connections that I've made, and it's truly just it's one of the greatest things. And I mean, I told my teammates today we had a team meeting, and truly I think that it's really hard to hear the saying, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. But what I told them is the grass is greener here, and I love everything about UCF, and I will stand on that every single moment, no matter how many people ask me. I love being here. We have such a family oriented backing to us at the Plex, and we're keeping the inner circle, and we're always just the best to each other, and I couldn't be more thankful for that.
Now I know you still got time here at UCF, but let's reflect a little bit now that you were just reminiscing at your time here at UCF. What would you say for now? Because we all know you're going to be making more memories in the upcoming season. What would you say is your favorite memory at UCF right now so far?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite memories is probably that first South Carolina game in the regional. I hit a triple to score 2 runs, and that was like one of the moments where I kind of felt like the wow, like I made it to a place where I'm like in a good spot, and I felt like the most confident I had ever felt. Like I was seeing beach balls up there, like I was seeing the ball well, I was hitting the ball well, but it was mostly just I was glad that I was doing it with the people that I enjoyed being with. And I feel like another moment that like really spoke volumes to me was it's not even a softball moment. Like I was literally walking to a football game from the Plex to um, the football field, and this little girl and her mom came up to me. I was wearing no softball stuff. I was not with any other softball players. I was all by myself. And this girl and her mom came up to me, and they were like, "Chloe, like we're such big fans." And I just feel like that's like such a heartwarming thing that could have happened to me. Like that's something I would have never expected to happen, was just a girl and her mom to approach me and feel that they could approach me and be able to, have a conversation with me, take a picture with me, like, get to see me outside of the uniform and outside of softball. And I think that was like one of the greatest things that I've ever been able to experience was, someone coming up to me that I genuinely had no idea, even knew who I was or would even be able to recognize me in public. And I loved every minute of that.
Chloe Evans, people person, add that to your resume. That would be amazing.
I'll have to do that.
Anyways,
Speaking of,
another thing that I wanted to talk about. Speaking of UCF memories, can you tell me the story about that practice? Because I saw it on social media. You guys were practicing during the hailstorm. Can you tell me what happened, like from start to finish? You need to tell me what went down.
Yeah, so actually we weren't even supposed to practice that night. we were actually at the field in the morning and had a lift, and we as seniors we typically we will do like a night practice because we start the season like at night when the sun's setting, when it's kind of like tough conditions for some people in the field. So we usually do like a night practice. We'll like go in and we'll like hit like moonshot balls that go over the lights that you just got to figure out how to catch, like things like that. And so it kind of just like came about that we were like, oh, okay, we're just gonna, go practice at night instead. Like we all left the field and ended up coming back later in the day. But we get to practice and we're practicing and it's all good. And then we're like, okay, there's some heat lightning, nothing to worry about, It's not hitting the ground, stuff like that. Then it starts getting a little closer and it's like real dark out and we're like, all right, it's real dark. It's real dark outside. And then finally, a lightning, it hit the ground, and so our athletic trainer was like, "All right, it's time to call it." So we call it in the middle of our last drill, and we all go in the batting cages, and the pitchers are finishing up pitching in the cages, and then all of a sudden we get a little break, and we're about to leave, and all of a sudden it just starts pouring like just pouring so hard, and everybody runs inside, whatever. We're sitting in the cages, and the next thing you know, it starts hailing, like crazy hail. I like run into the locker room, grab my phone. I was like, I gotta take a video of this. I didn't even know it hailed in Florida, to be honest with you. Like, I was like, this is literally insane. And it covered the whole entire field. Like, there was hail literally everywhere. Like, hail is just hitting our cars out in the parking lot. Like, we are just getting smacked with this hail, like golf ball size hail. And then I was like, and then people started making snow angels because some people have never seen that happen in Florida. So we were all having a good time out there.
That was my first time, actually. That was my first time seeing hail in Florida. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So literally everybody was
Did you
having so
like?
much fun.
Was that your first time seeing hail?
Not like ever. Like it hails at home, but I've never seen hail in Florida. No.
That was my
I've
first time driving in hail too. I had to drive through that.
20 years and I've never seen that much hail. I mean, I missed it by like 10 minutes when I left the UCF area, and I just get a call saying, "Oh my God, it is coming down, hailstorm."
I had to drive through that, and I was just like, "Oh, I just hope my car doesn't get messed up."
Low key
I
glad
was
I
just like,
missed it.
dude, my car was getting destroyed. It was getting tore up. Not really like tore up, but it was just like it was taking a lot, and I was just like, "Dang, I just hope I don't get any dents." And
Shout out
like,
to
I
the
could barely see anything driving back home.
hell no. Pun intended. Shout out to the UCF softball account for tuning in right now. It's special for us. We've never got to experience that. So you dealt with the hail. You're like Miss Florida now. I mean, you come here. You were super excited to move here. You want to get out of the cold. You're dealing with hail. You're practicing late. It reminds me of sleeping in the weight room. Shaquem Griffin vibes. You all practicing when you're not even supposed to be practicing. But uh, speaking of the UCF softball team as a whole and the account being here, it was announced recently that we sold out season tickets, as a team for the entire year. All season tickets are sold out. Chloe, what does that mean to you? Right, you wanted to come here and you wanted to be part of a community that rallies around softball. Sold out season tickets at the Plex in your last year. Can you kind of put into words what that means to you as a UCF Knight?
Yeah, there aren't really many words behind it other than just, like thanking everybody who is contributing to that. I think I did say a lot about, I love the people that support us and I love how much people support UCF softball, but all in all, like it's the continuous support. It's not like it was just the year that they went to supers and it wasn't just last year, but now it's this year. Like this year is big. And I just feel like it's so special that we get to be a part of something new and something big, and people are buying into that. And knowing that tomorrow and this weekend are probably going to be literally so packed, like I'm so excited. I know that the Georgia game was packed, but I know that not every other game was packed, and I just hope that like people continuously are coming to like our series and they're packing the Plex like every single game. It's not just, one here and one there. I know that obviously the 4:30 game might be a little early for some people, but I'm hoping that, that 7 o'clock game is just full of people.
Season tickets are sold out. How excited were you when you saw that update?
Honestly, it was really cool. I know I saw it get posted and I was like, I didn't even know that there was that many season like that there's a lot of season tickets to sell. So I was glad that that was able to happen. I know a lot of people want to come out for all of our series. They want to come out for Oklahoma. They want to have their spot secured. So it's huge that people are, bought into wanting to see us and, buying those seats so that, other people can't have them. Like I know so many people that come and talk to us like they're like we want season tickets, we want to be there every game. And I think that's the coolest thing. Like I love that this school is like starting to buy into not only the men's sports and not only buying tickets for football, not only buying tickets for basketball, but they want to come to softball games, they want to come watch us play because we have something to watch, and I love that about it.
Exactly. Exactly. Also, how excited are you for Big 12 play? I mean, you've seen all these power programs. I mean, we're gonna be like, I think Oklahoma's coming to town, but
Yep, last
yeah,
weekend of
like
the
how
year.
excited are you to like play these like perennial programs?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I think, it's not really like a huge shock to me. The Big Ten is also like one of the biggest,
Yep.
softball like conferences. So like Michigan, Northwestern, Nebraska, like those are all like really prestigious and really good softball schools. So it's not really like like a huge shock that we're going to be playing in the Big 12, which is one of the best softball conferences. I think I've played almost every single school that's in the Big 12 other than I think Kansas. I think that's the only team I haven't like played against. So it's not going to be like anything different from what we've been playing against. We're playing against, really hard competition. These next it's coming up weekends when we head to Clearwater, when we head to Mary Nutter. So I think it's just about the preparation and, buying into what the coaches have to say. The Big 12 is going to be great, but I think that also just, makes our school look better if we're in the top rankings at any point. Like that just shows how much better the Big 12 is, and that looks better for not only us but for the conference and the like the future of the conference as well.
And
Also, like further down the line, right? Let's talk about it. How much would it mean? My fault, Austin. I didn't mean to cut you off, but how much would it
okay.
mean to you as a player for this university to be the first UCF program to win UCF their first Big 12 championship?
I mean, to be honest with you, I just feel like we can't look at it as these teams being like these huge teams, because that's when you get in your head about things. You can't look at a ranking and think, oh, it's Oklahoma, we're playing the number one team in the country. Like, why can't we just go out there and know that we're playing 9 girls on 9 girls, and why can't 9 women against 9 women, why can't that be your motivation? Like, you should beat the other 9 people that you are facing, because you want to beat them. It's not just about a number, the name on their jersey, because you can't play to the name on their jersey, because that's when you've got the issue of playing down. You want to try and play up, but I think like just for this university, I think that it's gonna be a work in progress. And if we're the team to do it, we're the team to do it. But it's gonna be one step at a time. We got 2 games to win tomorrow, and those are the 2 most important games. And the most important game is honestly this first one that we have against Howard. I think that's what we're looking forward to right now, because at the end of the day, it's about winning your last game at home. And if we do that, we're going to be in a really good place. So,
Facts.
Yeah, every one game at a time. Love that mentality. And speaking of one game at a time, let's make a hypothetical about one game. I love asking about hypothetical situations. You know your teammates better than we do, and I feel like you know your teammates better than anybody on the team. But if you were in the bottom of the seventh, it's last game of the year. Winner gets top seed in the conference tournament. It's against Oklahoma. It's bottom of the seventh, 2 outs, tie game, runner on third. If you had to wave a magic wand, if you were able to wave a magic wand, who would you put at the plate if it wasn't you? Because obviously most athletes would say me. But if it wasn't you and you were not allowed to pick yourself, who on the team would you put in that spot, high pressure, bottom of the seventh, 2 outs, with the game on the line, the season on the line, top seed?
And why is it Shannon Doherty?
No, I'm thinking Jada.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm gonna pick Aubrey Evans. I think she's
Wow.
so clutch, and she is so poised for being a sophomore. She is cool, calm, and collected. But to be honest with you, I have so much faith in every single one of my teammates. Uh, I was about to say 1 through 27, but I mean, I don't know how much faith I would have in our pitchers going up to hit in that situation. But I think we've got 21 hitters, 22 hitters, something like that. But honestly, I have so much faith in all the girls that are on the team that do hit, because I think that this year we're so competitive, and I know that from the bottom of my heart that they would be doing anything in their power to score that run at third base. And I think that that's the biggest thing for us this year, is that we have faith in each other. You have faith in the girl to the left and to the right of you. You have faith in the girl that might get put in for you if you're in a slump. You've got faith in the girl that's hitting in front of you, hitting behind you. I think it is big. But honestly, I think at the end of the day, if I did have to pick someone, I would probably pick Aubrey. I think she's very she'll hit a hard ground ball for you, and I know she'll run it out at any given point, no matter if she feels like she's not going to get out or not. And I mean, example of it would literally be if you were at practice today. That quite literally is what happened. Runners at second and third, bottom of the 7, 2 outs. She hits a ground ball, and she gets on base from a pass ball. So I think that honestly speaks volumes to why I would say that as well.
Speaking of hypotheticals, what would be your dream scenario for UCF softball? Like in a game time situation.
Well, to be honest with you, my biggest hypothetical would be the fact that day 2 of the championship series at the World Series is going to be my 23rd birthday, which will also be, if we're in that second game, up or down. If we were up, if we had already won the first game, if we on my birthday winning that second game, it would be, ending my Jordan year, going into my Jordan year. And I think that could be the most perfect story that someone could hear, would be that, like, being at the World Series where I want to on my 23rd birthday, ending my softball career where I want to end it, would be like the most perfect and ideal situation that could ever happen.
Wow. Well, yeah, that'd be new heights for this program. Hosting a regional was new heights the year before you got here, and we got to get back in the tournament again. I think it's really cool to root for a program with expectations like that. We Coach Bears. People say, I'm not saying it, but I will agree. She's the best winner on campus. Take out Coach Linda. Right now, Coach Bear is probably the overall best winner, consistent winner on campus, if you're just looking at it from a global point of view. So I want to ask about some teammates of yours. Now, I said you were the best transfer athlete we've ever had in UCF history. I'm saying that because we had multiple years of you. People say Mike Hughes for UCF football. We had 1 year. We get to get 2 years of Chloe Evans, but also, what about Sarah Willis? Can you talk about your roommate? She freaking dominated on the mound last year, almost kind of like a surprise, like because of the similar situation of coming in as a transfer. Can you talk to us about her off season? What we should expect as fans from Sarah this year?
Yeah, I think you're just gonna get the crazy steamy Sarah Willis that you got last year. She's gonna, go for it. I think she went for it last year. She knew what role she had to play that last year. But, we have 9 pitchers on staff this year. And I think, she might not have to carry as much of a weight on her back as she did last year. Our goal is to, save her for our best and, make sure that she's healthy the entire season. Hopefully getting her and Sona to, be able to be the two-way players they want to be pitchers, be hitters, do all the things. I mean, her preparation is as great as it was last year. She's been fighting hard every day. She's working hard. She's putting the weight or the work in the weight room. She's doing all the things right, and it's, just going to come down to, how bad she wants it this year. And I know that obviously last year was crazy for her, but I know that I can assume she would be ecstatic about, Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. So I couldn't imagine that that's not on her, hopes and wish list, to be honest with you.
And we've mentioned Sona a few times. You've mentioned her a few times. She was at the Top Golf again. I got to meet at the Top Golf event a while ago. I got to meet her early, a while ago. What does she bring to the table? I know you mentioned we're expanding the pitching staff a bit. You mentioned her as a fellow two-way player with Sarah Willis. Coming over all the way from California, from the California Bears. What does she bring to the table, and how has she been fitting in with the nucleus of that and those veterans?
Yeah, Sona was she's a great piece to our puzzle. She's got all the right mindsets, she's got all the right words. She's honestly such a down to earth human being, and she's so hardworking, so competitive, so determined. She fits, you know, all the things about being a knight that we talk about. She's disciplined, she has the belief in people. She's got that team first mentality. She's going to class. She's doing all the right things that she needs to do. She's getting in her community service. She's one of the best people that you'll meet. And honestly, it's truly like the perfect fit um, um, for our program. We have this, we have this saying. It's an OKG, and it's our kind of gal. And I feel like Coach Bear really she really tries to look for those people, and I think Sona really fits the mantra of being our kind of gal. She fits all the things that UCF preaches, and that's what Coach Bear is looking for every single year from the portal and for recruits.
And you would know better than almost anybody what it's like to enter the portal and then speak to Coach Bear and have those conversations. I talked to Sona. She said it was pretty quick for her. She said 5 minutes talking to Coach Bear, and she was like, yeah, she knows what she's talking about. I'm in. So really cool that, again, talking about, in my opinion, the most consistent winner on campus, if you take out Coach Linda from cheerleading, it's almost pretty obvious. Coach Bear's the best winner when it comes to consistency and body of work over the years. So we talked about Sarah, we talked about Sona. Now, what about Jada Cody, Olympian, represented United States for the U.S. softball team? So what has her offseason been like? Obviously she brings a lot to the table with her defense. She could play multiple positions. And her offense. She's one of the best hitters I've ever seen wear a UCF uniform. So talk about Jada and her offseason and her last ride as well with UCF.
Yeah, I just think this year she's just, ready to go at it again. Have another great season. Being a good teammate, pushing people around her, trying to be the best third baseman in the country, really honing in on that position. Obviously, we have four other catchers, so, hopefully, just continuing to buy into that position. She's been really working hard on her defense. Just trying to be the best player that we have, and continuing to leave her legacy that she's created.
Well, we're looking forward to a very exciting season. Doubleheader tomorrow. Do you like playing two in one day? I'm assuming you like it. And what is different about playing two versus a typical middle of the season, set of games where you're playing one game?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge fan of doubleheaders. I think
Ooh.
that the day can feel long, to be honest with you, especially being a team who plays, typically longer games, knowing that, I'm probably gonna be standing in the outfield for, 7 hours tomorrow is kind of crazy. Um, but you got to do what you got to do, and whatever's thrown at you is what's thrown at you. But I mean, I'm excited to see all the people out there. Whether it's 2 games, 3 games, whatever I got to do, I'm gonna show up for as long as I need to be shown up and locked in. But I'm gonna be really happy with the one game the 3 following days.
Yeah, because
Oh
it's not
God,
even just a double. Yeah,
sound-
she's like, damn, I'm about to grind. Yeah. Shout out to Elo, by the way. He's listening right now. Voice of the UCF softball team, hosts a
All right,
national softball
no
podcast,
more,
big with
no more doubleheader
bracketology.
questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chloe, have you been to any basketball games recently?
Yeah, I went to the doubleheader on Saturday. Was it Saturday? I
Yeah, it
don't
was
even
Saturday.
really
Yeah.
ever know what day it is anymore, but yeah, I think it was Saturday. The women's and the men's played, and I went to both of those games. I was not able to make it tonight. My father has, made his appearance in Orlando, so I've been hanging out with him.
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
Well,
do that. Ain't nobody going. Yeah.
yeah, nice of you to spend time with us while your dad's in O Town. You know, I'm sure he's excited. Now, what does that mean for your family? I know your aunt. I was at a game last year hanging out. Your aunt won some like music contest where she remembered some lyrics. I was there with my son. Um, your last year playing at UCF, how's your family taking it? I know they're huge supporters of yours. They've listened to Space Nights in the past. They're probably your biggest supporters. What are those conversations like? How are they taking the fact that they're going to watch you play softball one more year?
Yeah, I think that each one of my family members would definitely give you a different response. I think truly everybody would tell you how proud they are of me to begin with, but I think that this journey, this long 20-year journey is getting to people at times, but they love it. And I know I'm going to have, every single one of my family members get to come at some point in the season. So I'm really excited about that. I think that they're just all super supportive. And I just say that as a joke because obviously softball has, felt like my life and their life for like literally my whole entire life. For every single memory that I have, I was playing softball or I was a part of softball. I was doing something in sports, and I feel like being a four sport athlete throughout high school, that's all my life has been consumed with is sports, and I have cherished. I don't think I've cherished every moment as much as I have, but I think last year and this year is just last year was something incredible, and I cherished everything that I got, and I cherish all the support that I've grown and the people I've met, and it's been amazing, and I couldn't be more thankful for my family because they are the reason that I'm here, and without their support I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. I couldn't have I couldn't have made the transfer possible without them believing in what I had and believing in my ability and buying my t-shirts and making my nieces and nephews wear my t-shirts and buying hats and just being so bought into something that's so big like my whole life. Like they've done it for me and they've put in the work just as much as I've put in the work, and I couldn't be more thankful for them.
That's awesome. UC family, whether it's here at the campus with the coaching staff, the players, but also I love it when we get the support of the family members of the athletes. It all just comes together like that in a pretty nice way for everybody. Then it makes the fans feel like part of the family too. So really happy that they get to be there tomorrow, and they've been so supportive of you over the years. That's so important, I think, for someone who's seen a lot of growth in their career, to have that support and be there by your side. So we've talked about a few of your teammates. You mentioned Aubrey, which is funny because she's from Apopka like me and RBJ are. But we talked about a
Let's
bunch of
go.
players. Yeah. uh, we're so excited for tomorrow. And I guess we keep talking about expectations, right? Going all in. You've been watching the documentary The Last Dance. What are you pulling from that? If people don't know, that's the um, Chicago Bulls documentary. Their last year winning that sixth championship with Jordan. What are you pulling from that documentary? Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and the entire Chicago Bulls, run with Michael Jordan. So what are you pulling from that? What are you taking from that documentary?
Yeah, I just feel like, some of the big things that I've taken away from it is just like you can't win the game by yourself. And I think that one thing I've really taken from it is just like you got to put in the work, and you got to know like when the time is right. You got to know, it's so crazy. Like if you haven't watched The Last Dance, there's so much that goes into it, and there's so much about people hating Michael Jordan and loving Michael Jordan, and there's just so many different things that come from him. Like he wanted to be the person that everybody knew. You can see it in all of his work that he's the one that was like, if you're gonna fight me, I'm gonna fight back harder. I'm gonna score 50 points in your face because you're making me mad that you don't believe that I can do it. And I think that that's like one of the biggest things, like watching him just not care what anybody thought of him. And when you see he played for Team USA, and yeah, he didn't want to play with some people, and he was just such a light to people. And it wasn't even just because of like who he was, but it was like he was a good person, and he wanted the best for everybody, but also he wanted to win, and he wanted people to remember who he was. And I mean, he did that. And he talked about how people talk about how they might not always like remember him because I don't know, he didn't talk about things in the election, and he wasn't always in the community. But you know what, he won a lot of basketball games, and he's made some of the best shoes. His name is literally everywhere, and so it's going to be hard for people to forget him. But I think it's just the most important thing is that he went out every game, and you knew that he was gonna give it his 100%. And I hope that people know that every game this year. But I do recommend y'all go watch that if you have the opportunity, because I think it shows a lot about athletes and what you might not see behind the scenes, and how teams change and how fast things go, and just things like that. And remembering that these people are human, and no matter how great they are, they do have they have outside lives other than just their sport.
Yeah, for sure. Like he left his legacy. Like, you know what I mean? And this honestly it begs me to like my last question before we sign off. Like, imagine if like UCF Productions did a documentary on the softball team in the past couple years, like sit for like for your time at UCF. How do you think it would go?
Honestly, I feel like over the last few months, honestly, the last like probably 6 months through this off season, it's really, I feel like it would really be kind of a different story. I think you'd be able to follow me around to all the sporting events, getting to meet a whole bunch of people, going to almost every sport. I think the only sport I haven't made it to is women's and men's tennis. That's the only place I haven't been. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I can maybe make a game or a match if they possibly have one when I can't. But I think it's you being able to see the grind and the things that I've been through, and those adversities that we have had to face that not everybody gets to see behind the scenes. But just growing into that person that I'm trying to be an advocate for this school, and I'm trying to put our name on the map. I don't know how many people, like, I'm sure everybody here knows Jazz Williams, but she also does a great job. She's very active on social media, trying to get people to
Out
see
of
her
the
things. And I
park.
just feel like it's great because we're trying to grow this school, and make it appear as much like as well as we want it to appear. We love it here. We love the atmosphere. Just hoping other girls see that, and want this for themselves, and hopefully could see themselves here at UCF one day.
Well, Chloe, we're super excited, and I got a message from Jan. Just wanted to shout out the softball team for being so supportive of Brits Bunch and just the community in general. I feel like everywhere I go, I see Chloe there, and some teammates. But she's not just speaking it; she's living it. She's been probably the most supportive UCF athlete of the rest of the UCF community, other sports, other ventures, nonprofit ventures. So we're really grateful to have Chloe on campus last year as a night. I guess RBJ said he had a last question. I have one last question. I know that season tickets are sold out, but there's individual game tickets. There's other ways to watch. I'll probably be in the outfield. I was like that for a few games last year. I went inside, outside. Why should people come out and watch this UCF softball team this year?
I think that this is just going to be a team of just absolute disruptors. I think that when I made the comment about, being poised, I think that it might not necessarily be, an overall like feeling. I think that there are a lot of feelings going into this year, but we want to play with passion and not emotion. We want to make sure that you guys feel our energy, but also, are able to be, calm and collected when things don't go our way, but also, showing people how we're going to get it done. And I think, it's such a fast-paced growing game. I think that we have a lot of energy and a lot of, sass sometimes, and I think that there's just so much from this team that you can really learn to love. And I think we just have a lot of competitors. I think this year you're gonna really see that. We've got some really skilled girls, infielders, outfielders, freshmen, seniors. There's just so much on the table, and I think that we're just ready for you all to just be able to see it all laid out on the table.
That's perfectly said. If you're not bought in, I hope you are now. It's the UCF softball team. They have their opening night tomorrow. Doubleheader. One game at 4:30, one game at 7:00. Howard, and then UConn, and then we got Seattle, and then UConn again, and then Georgia State. It's a black and gold classic. Come out to the Plex. Chloe, thank you so much. Good luck this year. I don't know if you need too much luck, but good luck on this year. We're super excited that we get to support you one last time in a UCF uniform.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. As always, go Knights and charge on. I'm excited to, hopefully see all of
Charge
you
on.
at the Plex this year. I'm hoping to give you all another great season, and hoping to watch this team and be a part of something bigger and better than last year, and go as far as possible this year.
Yeah, thank you, and shout to the UCF softball account for tuning in all night. Love that we were able to get some traffic to support this team. But good luck again, Chloe, and until next week, go Knights.
Charge on.
Charge on.
Charge on.